Hey guys, how's it going? Retro Dave back with another video, and it is 2019 and we are going to be doing an updated game room tour today. So it's March 2019, it's a year and 2 months on from when my game room was completely stripped out and rebuilt, and I'm going to show you guys the update. Over the course of 2018, as some of you may or may not know, I had a couple of extra arcades turn up, and I started moving things around in the game room, and then I've sold a couple of cabs on and put bookcases back, and I've reorganised the collection a bit and sold some stuff and added some stuff. So I thought I'd do an updated room tour for this year and show you guys what I've been doing and what's still here and what's gone. Yes, let's get to it. Let's spin the camera around and we'll start off in the console area. Okay guys, so this is the console area. This is where we sit and play some console games. So we'll start off with the couch. These are an old original Nintendo bed sheet. Yeah, I thought that's really cool for the game room. We've got the Street Fighter 2 poster, which came bundled with the console that I had, I think, back in the day. We've got the Nintendo shop display sign. So yeah, this is like one of my favourite pieces in the room. So come over to the setup here. We've got some old school rave flyers. I had a bit of a 90s raver back in the day. A bit of Dreamscape, but Help Skelter and all that. This is a poster from Digger T Rock, one of my childhood NES games. Love the artwork on that. And then we've got a couple of wall speakers. These are Dali Zenza speakers, and they are wall mounted and they are connected up to this setup here. So we're running an old school Yamaha, this is going to focus, DSP-A5. Old school turntable for a bit of vinyl. There's the vinyl selection there. Most of them are old vinyls I've had for a long time from putting my parents, and the data discs, music soundtracks as well. Okay, so in the cabinet, so in this corner here we've got all the plugs for the consoles hidden away in there. We have a Sega Genesis, and then we have PC Engine Core Graphics 2. In the next cupboard we've got an American Super Nintendo, which is running Super Everdrive and Power Super Nintendo. So basically the setup is, if I want to play any of my nostalgic games, I put the original games in my Power SNES, just like I would have done back in the day for that experience, and then everything else I can run on the Everdrive. So it's win-win. And that method also continues through to the NES as well. So again, if I want to get my nostalgia fix, I can pick up one of my original NES games. I can put them in here, and again, if I want to play anything else, we've got an Everdrive in the US one. So obviously the US one, we're running full screen 60 Hz, and it looks the bollocks. So that's how we've done that. So again, nostalgia hit, we can use the Power systems with the original games, and anything else that I don't own or no longer own because I've sold it and I fancy playing it, I can just play it on Everdrive, on original console, on a CRT. So we can't go wrong. It's a win-win situation. So go down to the PlayStation. We've got a PS2 and a PS1, and in this one we've got Amstrad GX 4000, again with like a kind of like an Everdrive 32-in-1 thing that runs basically most of the library on the console, and Xbox 360. And that is it for consoles on this section. So this is Sony PVM 20M2 MDE, so the medical version. in the grey, like a greyish case, or whitey grey case. They do come in a darker one. I've got another one behind me which I'll show you in a minute. So as you can see, it runs really nice. I'm not sure if we're going to get all the scan lines in and all that jazz, but it is super clear. Really nice picture. That is running R-Type 3 on the American SNES at the moment. Okay, so going up here, I've got an old school Mario alarm clock, and I like to be able to see the time, 10:15 at night. I've then got a Xbox 360 Street Fighter 4 arcade stick. Now I use this for RetroPie. If I wanted to play an old arcade game, I'll play it on my wall mounted TV. So I've got the console set up, and I use this for RetroPie, Raspberry Pi, that's the word I'm looking for. I very rarely play it, to be honest, but it's there if I fancy a bash. Double tape deck, listen to my tapes, and this also converts cassette tapes to MP3 as well, which is really handy. And a couple of pixel art, pixel beads that I've had for a long time now. So that is the kind of like the seating area for the console section. So if I spin around here, now you're going to see the bookcases. So this is the remains of the collection now. For those of you that may have been watching me for a number of years, this is significantly less than what I used to have. I've slimmed my collection really down to like the bare minimum. I reckon we're kind of like maybe a third, maybe a quarter of what I've had in the last maybe 6 years or so, 6-7 years. We've definitely slimmed it right down. What's it now? 2019. So 8 years, 7.5, 8 years. This is probably, I say, maybe a third of what I've had before, and I've really slimmed it down. And I've got all my favourite pieces on display, just how I wanted it, all forward facing. I'm really happy with that. So back in 2018, these 3 bookcases were gone, and I was left with just this one bookcase up until about a month ago. So all these games, everything you see on here was on this one bookcase. I had it all kind of like laid out, I don't want to say cramped, but it was full on one bookcase because I had 2 arcades in this position here. So we've got rid of those machines, and now we are fully spread out, back in action. Exactly how I designed this room. When I got this room built, I designed it so if it would fit this way, and the wall return had the bookcase on the return there, and then I've got an arcade which we'll go into in a minute past that wall. So this is how I designed it and how I wanted it to look, and this is what I was trying to achieve the whole time. And then like I say, a couple of arcades come along and I felt like it was encroached into this space. So now I've got this space back, I feel a lot better about it. So let's go on this bookcase first. Let's start off with the Super Nintendo. Wow, what a system. And yeah, this is, I mean, when I remember getting this console back in what, 90, must have been 94, 95. I can't remember the exact year now, I'd have to look it up maybe, and I'll ask my parents, but this is the bundle I've got. I've got the Super Mario All-Stars console pack, and I also got these 2 games, and that was Mario Kart and F-Zero. So this was like the bundle, this was the set that I got. Oh, just awesome, awesome time. Just what a time to be a kid growing up playing this. And today the games are still awesome today. I just love it. So I've got this shelf just for like a nostalgia shelf as well. And the console was basically like mint in the box with everything in there, all the packaging. I might do some unboxing videos later down the line of my games and my systems and stuff, for those that are interested. So we've got some CD singles as well. Got the old Mario Land soundtrack and the Tetris one, that's CD singles that come out of the charts. And we've got the Street Fighter 2 soundtrack, and this come off of a Nintendo magazine that I had back in the day, and it's such a cool CD soundtrack. There's a bit of story between the history of these pens. I'm not sure if I've mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again. So, back in the day, for those of you in the UK, you may or may not know of an event called Truckfest. The Truckfest is, I think it's Peterborough Showground, and this is going back, again, probably 92, maybe 92. When did Street Fighter 2 Turbo come out? 92, 93, something like that. Anyway, I was at Truckfest, and I was called up in a competition to play live Street Fighter 2 Turbo, and if I won the rounds, I got the console pack, which this one, where is it here? So I would have won this. I had to fend off several fighters, and I lost on the third match. Some kid just absolutely whooped my ass, and the runner-up prize was one of these pens. So it's Nintendo Mario All Stars pens. This is kind of like my souvenir from that event. These aren't the original pens, unfortunately. I did buy these on eBay years ago. I was really surprised to see them on there, to be honest. I'm not sure where they came from or if you could get them any other way, but that's the story behind these pens. I just got 2 of them because the guy had 2 for sale, so I just bought both, so I've got them displayed like that. But they mean nothing to no one else, but to me there was something that I won on that day. But yeah, it's really cool memories of that event. So moving down to the next shelf, if you can see in here, a bit of light. Again, all my games are box complete. So we've got, again, these are all PAL, and these are games that I either owned as originally back in the day, or games that I played with friends or rented, and I've got some kind of like nostalgia for. I'll go into stories on individual games another time, as I go through my collection kind of one by one, but this is more just an overview of what we've got. Again, this is another row of PAL games, and there's a couple of US ones in here as well. So King of Dragons is US, Turtles in Time is US, and Castlevania 4 is US. So that is the SNES collection, and there's a few more games spread over the other side I'll show you in a second. This is kind of my electronic games shelf. I had some more Game & Watches, but again I sold those a while back. So I've kept my favourite 3, and that is Tropical Fish, the Zelda, and Super Mario Brothers. The Super Mario Brothers one, this is the one I had back in the day, this one. So this is one that I've got a nostalgia for. Love that box. I remember getting it. Oh, so I can remember getting this stuff back in the day. Just an awesome time. Love it. Such a cool little game. The Hornby Turtles LCD games, I had both of these back in the day. Cool little games. Still work. Tommytronic 3D. Sky Attack. If you can see there, you put it on your eyes. I'm sure you must remember what these things are. In the box, again, this is the one I had back in the day. Such a cool game. Still fun to play now. Tommytronic Caveman. This is the first electronic game that I ever saw. I can't remember, I must have been maybe 6 at school, and I just remember a kid brought this game in to school, and there was a crowd of about 7 or 8 kids all around this table in the classroom. Everyone was just wondering what it was, and all the noises coming out of it, and all the little characters on the screen. And I remember just being mesmerised, just looking and thinking, oh my god, this is amazing, you know, this game. And it's kind of where my first game I probably ever saw that I can remember was this Tommytronic Caveman. So yeah, just a cool little story to go with that. But yeah, it's a cool little game. It's more the memories than anything else. Mario 3 wristwatch, I had this back in the day. Cool little game, it's not a bad little game. And then I've got a couple of virtual pets that I had back in the day. And a couple of cards. So that's that. This is the Street Fighter 2 Turbo box set I was talking about a minute ago. This console is actually set up in my cabinet just here on the right. I showed you a minute ago. And then behind here I've just got some CDs, so this is kind of like covering a load of CDs that I've got that I used to have on the top of the bookcase. I've now put them at the bottom, so they're out of the way. So while we're down here, we've got PS2. This is like basically mint in the box, in a box protector. We've got ZX Spectrum games. These are all like cassette tapes. So for those that aren't in the UK or Europe or won't know what this is, it's an old 80s 8-bit computer. Would have been rivaling the Commodore 64 at the time. Amstrad CPC 464 and so on. So the games are on cassette. I mean, I don't want to tell you guys that know obviously what this is. This is maybe people in other countries that aren't familiar. The games are on cassette tape, and I'll show you the computer in a bit. I've got it set up at the moment on the desk behind me. So these are the games I've got left for that. So all mine are cassette tapes and a few box games. Obviously the ports are questionable for some of them, but again at the time that's what we had. So that's the Spectrum games. And now moving up, we've got some NES games. So NES is probably my favourite system. Just love it. That's what really got me started onto gaming, was the NES. So some select titles here. I've got the Game Boy shelf. We'll go back to the game. We'll go across back to NES in a second. So Game Boy. This is the pack that I got back in the day. The standalone system with DuckTales, Spider-Man 2 and Lemmings. They were the games that I got back in Christmas. What, 93 perhaps? I can't remember the year. I think it was 93. I think the SNES might have been 94. But anyway, irrelevant. But that's the set I got. So yeah, really cool. Really happy with that. Classic Tetris, obviously. Can't not have that. My brother had Tetris. Quality little game. Amstrad CX 4000. First console that I ever owned was this, and we had one game, which is Burning Rubber, that come with it. So we had that a few months. Then we moved on to the NES action set. So this is the pack that I got back in the day, and this is in absolutely mint condition, again in a box protector. Beautiful condition, just awesome system, just love it. And that is the packing game Mario and Duck Hunt with the booklet. Got an old school Nintendo pencil tin, which I think I had one of them back in the day. It's got lovely artwork on it. I actually used this at work in my last job. This is actually my pencil tin for work. But before I left my old job, I took that out of my my case. So yeah, Nintendo pencil tin. Okay, so we've got back Game Boy games, then we're back to NES games. So some, for those you can see that the glare on the cases is quite bad. I do apologise. So the only game out of the Game Boy games that I didn't have back in the day is the Castlevania Belmont's Revenge. But it's a game I discovered only probably about 18 months ago. But it's a really good game, and I wanted to keep hold of it after I culled the rest. So way better than the first Castlevania game on the Game Boy. I really recommend this one. Such a cool game. Obviously all the standout titles, you know, I mean Ghostbusters is quality, all the Mario Lands, just awesome. The artwork on this is incredible. I remember playing this on the demo kiosk in Dixon's on the Game Boy stand, just dreaming of a Game Boy one day, and oh, just so good, so many good memories of that. So that's kind of like the Game Boy kind of like line there, if you like. And then we go back down, and we looked at these NES games a second ago. Then we've got another 2 shelves of NES games, sorry. So I've got Cleaning Kit, got Zelda, Gremlins 2, my favourite, Donkey Kong Classics, Bionic Commando, Bart vs the World. I can look at, whenever I look at these games, right, I remember where I was when I got it, when I first played it. Like, it's an instant like memory jog of just cool times, man. Bart vs the World, I remember I was in Woolworths, Bury St Edmunds, got that from there. Donkey Kong Classics, I got that X rental. That was like the second game we ever got for the console. Gremlins 2, oh, my cousin had that game the first time I ever saw it. Just obsessed with it ever since. Just got like memories of just like, every game on the shelf. This is what I love, just looking at it and just, it's just awesome times. Just love it. I mean, Batman, that was the first game we ever rented. That was like the second game I ever played on my console was Batman. And I remember the music and the graphics just was amazing at the time. So cool, so cool. So we spin back around this way a little bit. Got a few more NES games. These are American games. The only game I'm familiar with on here is Adventure Island 2, and I used to play it on my best friend's house back in the day. And then we've got another load here. Again, these Castlevanias are American, Operation Wolf is American, Gunsmoke's American, but McDonald Lane is PAL. And that is the NES games. Okay, and then we've got a Sinclair ZX Spectrum. This is the box for it. It's the Dixon's exclusive super deal. Got some more box games at the top. And then singles at the bottom. So some of these are the ones that I got with it when I bought my Spectrum back in the day. And then these few are the ones I bought from the shop. And I'll go into more detail about these perhaps at a later date. But obviously I was buying games from the local news agents for a couple of quid. This has actually got an original price sticker on the one that I bought. So that's super cool. I got that at Banger Racing when I went with my dad. Love that game. So yeah, got a few memories attached to this computer. Just awesome stuff, really. And there's the rest of the games that I showed you earlier. Then I'll move down, and then we've got my PlayStation 1 collection. So this is the DualShock pack. So this is the one that I bought back in the day. It must have been 90. It's quite late I got mine. Must be 98. And the two games I got with it were Destruction Derby 2 and the first Toka Touring Cars. Just trying to see it. Where is it? It's in there somewhere. Toka Touring Cars 2, this one here. So Toka Touring Cars, Destruction Derby 2, my first two games I got. Yeah, awesome stuff. So this is the games I've got left. It's original big case games. Ridge Racer Classic, and then the Time Crisis with the G-Con. Yes, that is the PlayStation collection. So if we quickly spin up here, Super Game Boy, obviously for Super Nintendo, but behind that are Xbox 360 games. And obviously I don't want to look at the spines of them. I never play the 360 to be fair, my daughter plays it more than I do. So I'll put that there, I'd rather look at that. Coming down next shelf, we've got the box for the PC Engine core graphics and a couple of my favourite games on display. Soldier Blade, love this game. Again, I've only discovered the PC Engine in like, not even quite a year ago. But I was blown away, it's such a cool little system for what it is. You wouldn't believe the graphics and sound that come out of this thing. It's unreal for the time. And yeah, I love my vertical shoot 'em ups, and Soldier Blade is my favourite one of all of the shooters I've played on this system so far. This is my favourite. Yeah, really good game. Gradius, or Gradius, however you want to pronounce it. Again, the artwork on that is just fucking awesome. Awesome artwork, awesome game. Yeah, it's so cool. The games are really good. So the games are on like hue cards, which are in, I've got in here. We'll go through the games another time. But that is the core graphics PC Engine shelf, if you like. So we'll come back past these. Next shelf down, we've got Super Metroid big box. PAL version coming in a big box with like a guidebook. That's really cool, again in a case. And as you can see behind that is my PS2 collection. That is it. Again, most of these are games I originally had back in the day. We might go into a bit more detail later on down the line. And on the bottom shelf is my Sega Genesis collection. So as you can see, we've got all the essentials: Streets of Rage trilogy, Castlevania, Outrun, Sonic 1 and 2, Golden Axe 1 and 2, Altered Beast, Lethal Enforcers 1 and 2, Toe Jam and Earl, Panic and Funkatron. Just a few select games. I had the limited experience with the Mega Drive back in the day, so I just thought I'd get a Genesis to have the full screen, and just a few of the favourite games that I remember back in the day, and a few games that I discovered only in recent years to play. Again, quality system, and that is my selection of games for it. Right, let's spin up to the desk and show you what's on the desk. So this is a game that's panning back over the room. So we come to my desk now. So PC, technically it's a game PC, but to be honest with you, I don't use it to play games much, if at all. I've got Steam on that, but I very rarely go on there, to be honest. I just use it for making videos, do the occasional stream off of this, and just use it for listening to music and watching YouTube, to be honest. So that is that. Then we've got my Sinclair ZX Spectrum. This is like in really like mint condition. Beautiful computer. I'm really happy to have this in this condition. And this is running on a dedicated 14-inch Sony PVM, so similar to the one I showed you a minute ago that's got the SNES running. This is a smaller one, and this is just solely dedicated for use on my Spectrum. So I can sit in my chair, bit of retro, bit of modern, that's how we roll. So I've got a couple of trinkets on top, got a gizmo, Mario, Link, Gremlin, my Mario statue that I got for my birthday last year from all the guys that turned up to my birthday. Just again, thanks very much for that. Awesome standee on my my monitor there, and the box for my clock. And then on the windowsill, got a Super Nintendo sign, a light, and another light box. And then come over here, I've got my Gremlins 2 canvas that Base Invader made for me. Luke, again, my favourite. The guys you know me already, you're going to know this storyline. This is like my favourite NES game, and I love the artwork, and I've got a huge canvas on my wall in my game room of it. So that is the console area, computer area, chill out area. So I'll stand at my door, just pan around and show you. And then we've got another area on the left here. So what I'll do is I'll come to that in just a second. While we're here, I've got this old school pin board thing with my arcade high scores on. I need to change the Hypersports one. I went a bit over that the other week. So these are my scores of my games. Again, I just think it's cool to have my scores on display for myself, and if I want to change them I can put them up. And yeah, old school pin, what are they called? A pin board? I can't think what they're called now. Pegboard, something like that. I saw them in a shop, and I thought I'll get that and use that for my high scores. So I thought I'd put one there, just for my own benefit really. So that's my arcade high scores. And then we're going to span into the arcade. So this is my little arcade area, and we've got 5 games in here. So the first one, Donkey Kong. What is it? It's not as me said about Donkey Kong already. Just classic game, love it. So I imported this from the US. When was it? Must be a year ago. It's over a year ago now. And then we've got Mario and Luigi playing Operation Wolf model there. We've got a Kong Off 2 marquee signed by Billy Mitchell and a few others at the time. That was a gift, birthday gift off of Alex Nintendo Arcade. So Alex, again, thanks mate for that. I've got that there up in a little light box on top of the machine. This is my most recent pickup, my Nintendo PlayChoice 10 single monitor version, dedicated. Lovely game, lovely cab. Had the monitor rebuilt so the picture is beautiful. Yeah, really happy with that. Some toppers on there as well. Then we got Donkey Kong Jr. again, original dedicated. In real nice condition. We've got a couple of trinkets on the top there. We've got a Donkey Kong, you call it teddy or plushie or whatever you want to call it. DVD, King of Kong, DVD, got my Nintendo vinyl on the wall there. And then we spin round to the next game. We've got Time Pilot, quality shoot 'em up. Done some work on this, got a new bezel, new marquee. Cool game. Got a marquee on the wall of Operation Wolf. That was the first arcade that I ever had. Was Operation Wolf. I don't have it anymore. I sold it. Sold it to buy Time Pilot. But I got a US marquee in a trade off a friend and stuck it on the wall. And then the last game is a Track and Field, which is in a converted Jammer cab. So I got the cab pretty cheap and then made it my own. Made it into a Track and Field. So I got the marquee made up and made the control panel myself with gold leaf switch buttons. So just like the original, but they're newer versions. And it also runs Hypersports. It's got Hypersports PCB in there as well, which I can switch over. So yeah, love myself a bit of Track and Field and Hypersports. Again, you regularly catch me online playing these games live on YouTube. I do like to do live streams of me playing these, so feel free to check them out if you catch me online. And that concludes our room tour. So you may remember before, if you're familiar with the channel, we used to have a Miss Pac-Man stood here, and then Time Pilot was stood here, and Track and Field was stood here, and then when I got the PlayChoice, that was stood there, and then I used to have a Popeye in here, so I had Donkey Kong, Popeye and Junior. So I sold the Popeye and I sold the Miss Pac-Man, and I'm now left with these 5. And yeah, really happy with the setup at the moment. So that is it, guys. That is my 2019 game room update. You've seen everything: console area and arcade. So yeah, feel free to post a comment or send me a link to your room tour. Always interesting seeing how people's setups, game room setups. Awesome stuff. So guys, thanks for watching, and yeah, I shall catch you again for another video. Take it easy.